Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1, Episode 13, entitled Wildly Inappropriate. With that being said, my review today will contain my thoughts and opinions surrounding the episode in question, and as usual for these episode reviews, this video will contain spoilers for the episode at hand. You have been warned. We are simply going to be discussing the good about the episode, then we will talk about the bad, and finally, towards the very end of the video, I will give the episode a score out of 10 according to my own opinion. So, episode 13, let's start with the good. Now, this episode is essentially a Kai and Wildfire team-up episode, and you guys already know I love those two together. It's always a treat to see these two characters interact, what with their similar personalities and their similar power sets, and it almost reminds me of an older brother, annoying little sister vibe, which I thought was really entertaining in this episode. And Wildfire herself was actually a lot of fun here, but I can see why some folks are annoyed with her. I did see some complaints that Wildfire was annoying in part 2 when she wasn't in part 1. I'm kind of the opposite. I like her a lot more in part 2 than I did in part 1, and with her relationship with Kai especially, I think it's only going to blossom from here. Also, the rock monsters that they interact with, I thought they were pretty funny. I liked them quite a bit. I also saw some people calling them annoying, but I really liked them. They kind of reminded me of the Canadians from South Park, which, come on, those similar designs, that has to be intentional. Also, this episode is the one with the Bone Warriors. We get a nice cold open with Kai and Wildfire where they are already captured by the Bone King and his minions. I was so excited to see these guys pop up since I think their designs are really awesome, and I'm glad that Dragons Rising did give them some chance to shine. However, maybe they needed a little bit more of a chance to shine because honestly, and here we start to get into the bad parts about the episode, the Bone Warriors, especially the Bone King, they were kind of irritating. Maybe I'm just kind of thrown off guard by the fact that these guys are nowhere near as cool as their design might suggest, especially the Bone King, who kind of has an annoying, raspy, high-pitched voice, and I still don't think that voice suits him, but I still really enjoy his design. And yeah, like I said, they don't have that big of a role, it's just kind of like a glorified cameo, which was kind of disappointing too, but still, I'm not sure what else I expected. These guys even being here at all is a pretty big surprise though. Also, this episode has a B-plot, a side story if you will, that I really did not care for all that much. It features Zane and Mr. Frohickey traveling to the crossroads where they are hosting a Zane Day celebration. Now, on the surface, that sounds awesome, but once you actually start to look into this competition, it's so very strange. There's a competition where they basically need to mimic Zane, and Zane himself participates in it, and it was nowhere near as funny as it probably should have been. It was basically annoying character central, and most of that is because of characters like Mr. Frohickey and Labo, two characters that I'm just not a big fan of, two characters that I didn't care for in part 1, and two characters that I don't care for in part 2. I know a lot of people love Mr. Frohickey and Labo, but I personally do not. I find them to be rather annoying, and the competition was just so bizarre. It wasn't funny, it wasn't entertaining, it was just kind of weird and painful to sit through, and I can't help but feel like maybe that extra screen time would have been better suited with the Bone Warriors. Maybe fleshing out their story a little bit more, maybe making them more intimidating and giving them more to do. So yeah, long story short, this episode's priorities are kind of all out of whack, and I found myself a little bit more disappointed with this one than others in the Dragons Rising series so far, but don't get my words twisted here. This episode still has some good in it, and there are some things to really enjoy about this episode. I just found it to be a tad underwhelming. Still more good than bad, but at the same time, it's still somewhat disappointing. So in terms of a score, I will give this episode a 6 out of 10 for everything I listed in this review. Probably the weakest episode of part 2 so far. Here's hoping that things improve from here on out. But until next time, guys, leave all your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you think about this episode? And hopefully you enjoyed today's review. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.